Las Vegas, famous, fabulous playground of the West. A wide-open town that never goes to sleep.
I don't care if the sun don't shine. I do my drinking in the evening time when I'm in Las Vegas.
Get ready for 1 full hour of vintage Vegas. This is Vegas Knights Tales, the radio show. These 3 dealers have spent their time in the gaming pits, and now they're talking. Growing up in 1950s Vegas, breaking into the mob-run casinos in the 1970s, they'll tell what it was really like in the golden era. The art of dice and cards, mobsters and muscles, starlets and harlots. The real story from guys who lived it. Now, let's bring on the hosts. Here's Benny Baccarat, Danny Craps, and Jimmy Baggs.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. You listen to the Vegas Knights Tales right here. Me, Benny Baccarat, here with Jimmy Baggs, Danny Craps. We have a special guest, Paul Robertson.
Hey, Paul.
Glad to have you here, pal.
Thank you. Thank you. Real
it's,
cool.
A little hot outside, isn't it? What do you think?
You know, I draw heat like a magnet anyway, so yeah, it's warm out there. Like a magnet.
Like a magnet.
Hey, so, Paul, tell us something. Where'd you grow up at?
Actually, I'm a native here, Las Vegas, born, raised. Went to, Madison School in my community.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fremont Junior High across town, and then Las Vegas High School downtown, which is cool because we could leave campus and walk to lunch.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's going back Las Vegas High School.
It sure isn't it though?
The first one. How about John C. Fremont, man? These are our rivals, John C. Fremont.
Oh yeah, well, us
We
going to
always thought they were
Rancho,
rich kids. Yeah.
Vegas High was our rival.
Everybody was
Western,
our rival.
all of them, everybody.
We didn't like anybody. No.
I think we had to box everybody back then. It was a boxing match instead of going to school.
Yeah.
That's just the way it was.
Cops said, "Where you going?" I said, "Vegas, watch a football game." They go home. Go home.
Go home. If you're from Rancho, go home.
Go home.
You know, since Paul grew up here, like the rest of us did, you know, Jimmy Baggs since '59, and you since the '50s, me in the '50s. Paul, I'm sure you remember. I lived in Vegas Heights, Lowry and Highland before it was Martin Luther King, and also 609 Wilson Street, which I know you're familiar with that whole area. Whereabouts did you live, Paul?
Actually, right off of Washington on Morgan. So,
okay.
H in Washington, those projects, as we referred to them. Right there.
Wow.
Now, is that what they considered the West Side back then?
The West Side, absolutely, on the other side of the railroad tracks.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, that's more or less behind Jerry's Nugget and all back that way.
Between Jerry's Nugget and downtown.
Yes, correct. Wow.
Do you remember playing at that that old ranch that was over there by, I think it's by Republic now, but you used to walk over to the old ranch, which is, you know, of course we didn't know back then it was significant. It was like been there forever, those people.
My mom knew that family.
Really?
And they had horses.
Wow.
So on the weekends when they were invite my mom and them to come over on Sundays and stuff, they would let them ride the horses and stuff. So yeah, I do remember that family.
Wow, I think it's an historical site now, if I'm not mistaken. They finally are starting to spruce it up. I mean, it was dilapidated. I'd go play as a kid, and it was run free through there, and the little barn and all that. That was, you remember, don't you?
Absolutely.
Benny?
Absolutely. So you were a cowboy too, huh, back then?
Yeah, I had a little bit in me because my folks were cowboys, you know, come out of Texas.
Oh, out of Texas. What part of Texas?
Dallas and Tyler.
Oh, Tyler.
My mom's
I got
from
family
Tyler.
Lives in Tyler.
Really?
Yeah.
Rose Capital.
Yeah.
Earl Campbell.
Earl Campbell, yeah.
Earl Campbell.
Met his mom. Went to his home down there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, real nice people.
He had thighs as big as tree trunks. He used to come into Caesar's Palace. Oh my God, them thighs was as thick as tree trunks. Am I lying or
he's
what?
He's a big guy.
All right, now I got a question for you gentlemen right here. Does anybody remember the Palomino Club?
Yeah, I remember.
Down there, across from Jerry's Nugget.
World famous?
World famous.
What'd they do down there?
I remember.
Coke acts.
I remember. Was there any acrobats there, Jimmy Baggs?
One of them one-armed bandits.
I think there was one with one leg there. Used to hop around. Name was Eileen.
And the Yo-Yo Bandit.
Here's what I remember about the Palomino Club. totally nude,
Yeah. That's
it.
and you could drink alcohol while you watching
How
Totally
about if
Nude.
we got in there,
That's
it was a
right.
score. Remember we used to go in there and act like we're older, man? We'd go in there with,
That's what me and my buddies did. And they got
and I
out.
always got nailed.
Get
man.
out.
I think once we got in the front row and the show was just going to start, and the guy went and he said, "Get out." I went, "Come on, man. Let me see."
We
a
got
little
lucky.
bit."
We sneak in the back, but we knew one of the girls, and because her mother was a dancer there, so
I'm
they
sure that was a
would
nice
sneak
family.
us in. I think I was 16. Yeah,
was
had a
nice.
lot of mother-daughters out
I
of
Was
like
that a
that.
mother-daughter situation?
it. It was.
An occurrence?
My mom was a dancer. I love it.
Yeah.
Mom was a dancer there. Yeah, we used to sneak in there and everything.
That
Run
was the
all
fir-
over back then.
Pat, and that was the first one
Very
in
first
the
one in
world,
town.
I think, a place like that. We're talking about the early 60s, man.
That was very popular.
Really?
Very popular.
That was a one in a lifetime. They figured you go down there. Remember all this they used to have, that was a rough area there,
Yeah,
man.
it was a rough area. Well, the rancho's down there.
Yeah, but that's all right. So is the police station. But that don't-
Yeah, we've seen a lot of it.
Police
you
station?
never wanted to go to North Las Vegas.
Oh, they
Police.
treat
No.
you like a
You
king down
you
there.
crawl into the
Rodney.
next county so that the other place would arrest you.
Yeah.
Like Las Vegas police were cool.
Yeah.
Henderson police, all right. Boulder City police, they were the nuts. I mean,
Yeah.
but Highway Patrol, they were all nice. But North Las
North
Vegas,
Las
you
Vegas.
did not want to go in that jail.
No.
Nobody.
No, they
It was a
wasn't very.
dirty-
They were the biggest cops down
Oh.
there. Biggest ones and the meanest.
Paul, did you play sports in high school?
No, I got to play drums in the marching band.
Oh, you was a musician.
Yeah, I got
Nice.
to hang out with those guys. That was my freebie to the game, you know.
As that's right. That's
the
right.
Freebie to the game on the band.
You
Well,
played
that
the drums, huh?
Yeah, so if she didn't like me because I wasn't a sports fanatic, she liked me because I was a musician.
Oh, hey.
Did you ever get in any of the parades they had, Eldorado? or any of
Eldorado
them?
Parade, yes. And Western High School was actually the popular high school marching band.
Yes.
Long Beach
they
came
were.
from California, took the awards every year.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right.
We
Yeah,
had
Danny's
fun.
school, Western.
I was a Western Warrior.
Western Warrior.
And how?
You guys were our competition in band.
Yeah.
We were. Well, I was always out under the bleachers smoking that wacky tobacco in high school.
Wow.
Not me in high school. I was nuttier enough.
I don't even know if we had a band in Rancho.
Yeah, we had
You know what? I don't
a
remember
band of
French having a
thieves.
marching band
We
either.
had a band of
I
thieves.
think they were all
at that
ditching.
A band of thieves.
That's but Mom said,
That's
"You go to
funny.
school today?" I said, "Yeah." Walked in the front door and out the back.
That's it.
I went, but I didn't stay.
I didn't
She
say. I don't
ask
think
me that.
anybody stayed.
I used to go lay in the car. My dad said, "You're the only guy I know that goes to school and never brings books home. What kind of school is that?" I said, "Well, Dad, I'm so bright that I do all my stuff in study hall." He says, "I tell you what, if you bring 1A home in anything, we'll do college." I just couldn't do it. I was a straight C, and that was it. I didn't try. I didn't care.
Wow,
I
you
thought it was a
were
waste of
smart.
time. I know. I
Straight
figured if
C.
If I was
was-
straight C without trying. Imagine what I could have been.
I was a forger. I doctored my scores. I doctored them. I spent a lot of time on forgery. I was getting A's and B's when I was really
You know-
barely making it.
Danny, the guy that lived across the street from me, and you know him, he was always on the dean's list every year. Street smart, he had none. But school smarts, he was always on the dean's list, and he always used to do my homework.
Is that so you wouldn't beat him up?
No, he was just like we were friends.
So
He
your
was that
friends
way.
would beat him up.
No. Let's just say he wanted to stay on our good side.
Oh,
Even though,
Absolutely.
but we never were like, no. You know the guy as
You were his
well as you
juice,
know
huh?
me. Well, it works. One hand washes the other. Paul, you know how that works. in life,
So, Paul, you remember living in Vegas Heights and some of
yeah.
the Moulin Rouge and some other places. Tell some of the audience that who might remember some of those places that were over there.
Actually, the community was well fed of its own businesses, if you will, barbershops, beauty salons, cleaners.
Right.
So the Jackson Street was the hit street of our community because Jackson Street had all the casinos minus the Moulin Rouge. So if
Right.
you couldn't do the Moulin Rouge, you go on Jackson Street. At that time, growing up, the Chinese people ran the casino gaming in our community.
I didn't know that, Paul.
They
That's
ran it for
something-
years until they got into a beef with the IRS about tax, of not paying taxes.
Wow.
And one at a time, they shut them all down.
Well, didn't they start the Keno?
Sure did. Keno was very popular. in
Keno
our
was
community.
very popular
Mhm.
there.
And before it hit the strip in downtown, Keno came right out of the west side.
Well, Paul, when we were kids, that wasn't a real good area, Jackson Street, for young white kids to hang out.
Right.
Am I right on a Saturday? I mean, like, it was kind of a rough area.
It could get rough, and it's weird because our community was mixed, and a lot of people are not aware of that. So we
Exactly.
had
We just knew to
Spanish
stay.
and whites that lived in the community, but Jackson Street could be tough for me.
Exactly. That was like an area you didn't want to bother it if you didn't want to.
It was a daytime gig for me. Nighttime, I'm not even allowed
that's
nowhere
right.
near there.
There was a lot happening around there.
Well, you had the Brown Derby and all them.
Mom's
over there.
Kitchen,
Yeah,
was a
Mom's
popular
Kitchen.
eatery for celebrities off the strip.
Sugar Hill, Bob
Sugar
Bailey's
Hill,
Sugar
Bob
Hill,
Bailey's.
and the little store that was just down the street from the Sugar Hill. There was a little store we used to go to, and
That's kind of like not even exists anymore. The West
Right,
Side.
that's
It's kind of
true.
like
Well,
blended into the whole
It
community.
is. It's
like
all a
not even
community
a
now.
thing now. It's
well, there's a lot
the
of
Moulin
there's a
Rouge
lot
is
of
really rough looking. Have you seen that lately? What I don't know what they're doing with that, but
Which
not
one?
doing anything.
the Moulin Rouge, they were going to make it an historic site, but whatever they're doing to it,
It's,
They
it-
just
It's
went to
not
a
happening.
stop. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it
stopped on
still is a historic site.
Well, they better-
they have it posted as historic, but it's all the buildings are almost
wrecked.
gone
Yeah.
except
Right.
Exactly.
some of the
It
rooms.
got purchased
back
again, and the new owner now just kind of went underground on us.
there. Yeah. That was going to be the number one hotel in town if they hadn't got shut down. It was only open for 6 months, and then they got shut down. They had their liquor license, all that taken away from them.
Well, they were getting all the business too, right,
They
Pat?
were getting all
That
of
was the
this.
threat.
That was the first integrated casino in town that everybody was going to. See, if blacks wasn't allowed in any of the casinos back then. Am I correct?
Unless you're working.
Unless you were working.
Only if you're working.
And entertainers, yeah, they couldn't hang out there. They had to go through the back way. And West Side is where all of them would stay. They would rent rooms and stuff like that on the West Side because they wasn't allowed in those casinos. And Frank Sinatra got that changed.
Right, because Sammy Jr.
Yes,
was,
Sammy
it affected
Jr.
him big time. He lived on the West Side while performing in Vegas until
exactly
Frank
right.
stepped up.
Yeah, so it's very interesting. Even they used to call Las Vegas the Mississippi of the West, and the black community used to call that because they figured that they didn't have enough votes for them, to do. So they just called it the Mississippi of the West. It's altogether different now, like you said. Everything
what now they
one
call it?
community.
you know what they call it now?
Huh? No, I
The
don't.
far east of the West.
Far east of the West.
The far east of the West. Wow, could sure go for some yum right now.
That's almost like Jade West, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I used to wear JDs.
God.
Little did I knew it would go a long way, all the way to the far east.
You go through some of the little stores on the West Side now, and those guys are owned by the Middle Eastern.
Exactly.
That's right,
Yes.
Middle Eastern.
What did you want?
Isn't it
What did you
funny?
want? Yeah.
Huh?
They're asking you what you want when you walk in the door.
Everybody we go to war with, they end up coming over here and owning the joint.
And
I
on
don't
the place,
get it.
yeah.
Well, it's like
Vietnam?
back in the 70s when 7-Elevens were being bought up by people from
Pakistan.
India.
Exactly.
India.
That's right.
India and Pakistan,
Yeah.
And, they'd say, "You want the slush?" I want a what? You want the slush?
I like when you're dealing craps. Clap three, clap three.
Clap 3? Sounds like a
I got
health
disease.
department problem to me. Clap 3. So
Yeah.
Paul, tell us. So you grew up in Las Vegas. What are some of your early jobs? Where did you work when you were a teenager and so forth?
That's interesting because, back then they had the candy striper girls that work in the hospitals to help out.
Oh yeah.
They had little clubs that were around town that meant a lot then because everybody was young.
Right.
So for us in our community, to borrow a lawnmower and cut yards on the weekends was our little pocket money. So that was a great little hustle for us. Some of the guys did shoes, shine.
Yeah.
Some of the guys would go and wash cars and stuff. We had to create our own little way to earn money because there just weren't the jobs available to
Now
us.
these kids have no clue now, man.
Oh,
of
yeah.
what we
You
went.
had
They
to
have no
work then,
hustle.
didn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
had
had
to go out
hustle.
and hustle that money up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No
Yeah, 'cause
You
hustle.
want to go
They
to the
have,
movies, you got to come up with some movie money because mom and them
Exactly.
just didn't
There
have
you
the money
go.
for that.
Yeah.
No.
No, that was all hand done too.
That's
Now
right.
they got riding lawnmowers.
You
all
wanted
that.
to get it.
Right.
Back then, you were pushing.
That's right. And
Oh,
it
yeah.
better be a good job too, or he didn't pay you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it had to be real good. Yeah, you were pushing grass, so to speak. back
Benny,
Pushing
take it
grass.
away. Benny, take it away. Tell them what's happening now.
Listen, we're going to take a real quick break right now for our sponsors, and we will be back. Welcome to listening to Vegas Nights.
Yeah,
Tales.
we'll be back with Paul,
we'll be back
man.
with Paul.
That's kind of
He's got some stories for you coming up in the next segment. Stay tuned. It could get real hairy.
Now let's return to the Vegas Nights.
Welcome back to the Vegas Night Tales here, right here. Benny Baccarat, Danny Krebs, Jimmy Baggs, and our guest Paul. Paul, we were talking about pushing lawnmowers around.
Yeah, it didn't have a motor either. You had
No.
to put that muscle in there.
What else? What other kind of jobs did you end up doing?
You know, then as time moved forward, I worked a little bit after school jobs, you know, for the school district. And there was bus boying jobs on the Strip.
Yeah, I think we
Some
all
of them were
did that.
kitchen jobs, you know, start to, you know, because now you're trying to make a few dollars more. You know, the more money was good, but, you know, now you want to take the girl and pay for her ticket at the movie, so you got to get a better job.
Sure.
So now we're out there on the Strip trying to wash dishes, being bus boys and stuff.
Absolutely.
And that's limited as well, so you can't get a whole lot out of there because they weren't that progressive with jobs at that time.
That's true. Now, the main question here for you, did you graduate?
I did. Graduated Las Vegas High School.
Oh, you did
Got
graduate.
my-
He was a wildcatter.
Yeah,
He was a
one
wildcatter.
Mm-hmm.
He was a wildcatter.
Sure did.
Yeah, that's nice. That's good. And then after you graduated out of school, where'd you go? UNLV or?
Actually, I played music quite a bit here in town because doing a marching band led me to creating and being in local groups in town. So I played quite a few lounges and clubs,
Oh, nice.
and that was great. A few of my guys went off to college, so I went to work, and I had fun with it. And I missed an opportunity of going to college, but my family's education of school was limited as well. So I was the first one to graduate in my family, and to them that was the big to-do. And yet I didn't have the push to go on to college, and yet I took it on myself to take some college courses, you know, where you just pay to go to a class and stuff. So I did some music courses. I took some courses in stagehanding, stuff like that, because I knew that was kind of my field there. I liked it. Music was good.
Do you still play a little bit?
Still play a little bit. Got some guys that I meet a couple times a month. We go to the house and we kind of do some old school stuff.
Oh, that's nice.
Feels good.
Do you remember Sweet Louie and the Checkmates?
Met those guys. Louis and I became friends. He bought me drum parts at random, and I go like, yeah, okay, thank you. Why'd you buy that for me? Then later to find out we're opening for them.
Wow.
Later to
Oh,
find
wow.
out he needed me to play a part in a song so that he could go out and sing. And I go, okay, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
And that's we had the ability to play that well to that league. Then the guys, after meeting them, they go to Caesar's Palace. You know, they were headliners there for a short
Nero's
time.
Nook.
Nero's Nook. So that was a great meeting. It was Moe's Drum Shop that was
Oh
downtown.
yeah, of
Just
course.
a chance. We happened to be at the same time, and man, just things start to happen a little bit at a time.
Because the Checkmates were big in this town. They were loved
cooking
and
job.
idolized.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
you
they
ma-
get the whole crowd going, didn't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
They'd
they
get,
did.
I mean, they'd get everybody out of their
How about
seats.
Huck and the Soul Patrol?
Oh, see, you're flashing back. You know more than I realize you know.
Oh, that's when I was
Yeah.
wearing my platform.
Huck's is still in town. He's still playing.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's still here, still doing it.
I used to see him at the Plaza, Union Plaza.
Right.
Huck and the Soul
Long time,
Patrol.
Yeah.
Wow.
Quiet
They could
guy.
get down, yeah.
Yeah. Real quiet personality, but a good player.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's going
You know,
back.
Old Vegas was really genuine because we weren't overly modernized. We didn't lose our identity back then. You know, we were Vegas. El Dorado was normal here. Cowboys were normal to be seen here, hats and stuff. Then we lost somewhere along the way. We're trying to be Chicago, L.A., New York. What happened to us?
Well, here's what they-
Absolutely.
Here's what they forget about here. Any hustler from any city in the world, the biggest hustle is Las Vegas. I mean, you could be the biggest hustler in your town, but if you are in this town, like if you're a good poker player, in Cincinnati, it was like the poker players in Newport and Cincinnati and them areas there, they always thought they were Sharpies, you know? And they come out here and you run into Sharpies from all over the world. It's not
Right.
just in your area. So you better be the best of the best. If you're the best here,
You're getting fleeced.
like Johnny
Yeah.
Moss. For him to win the first World Series of poker, man, he's a poker player. I mean, the guy's a poker player.
There's no doubt about
You know what
it.
I mean? I mean, and there ain't nothing.
And Vegas
Fooling.
drew that kind of atmosphere.
Exactly.
You know
That's
what I mean?
right. And that's
you
what
want
makes
to be
us-
among the best. you know?
Exactly. That's what makes it a good town. That's what makes our town always like. We never felt when the country was in a depression. We
Right,
never really felt
absolutely.
it here. The money was flowing. We make toast. We spread it around. That's what people forget. When people
9/11.
make money and spread it around, it helps the economy. You don't keep your money. You spread it around. It helps everybody. It helps everybody's economy, and everybody has to eat. That's always was my philosophy.
Yeah, that's the truth.
You
That
know what
is
I
the
mean?
truth. But you has it. Las
9/11,
Vegas has
uh,
lost that the old school.
Exactly.
Compared
In a
to
lot
what
of
it
ways.
used
There's
to
still
be.
some old school people here.
Oh,
like
there's a
us.
lot of.
But it's lost that loving feeling.
It has.
Right.
It's lost that caring feeling about that. They don't care about that. They look for the future,
Corporation.
not the past. Exactly. I mean, yeah. I don't know. It's got like I was just telling Paul. One hand washes the other in a lot of cases. It has to be that way in order for it to work.
Well, the more of those the other states coming in, the ruder the people got, and that's what's taken away from everything.
Yeah.
That's those
Well-
same companies that bought into Vegas and changed the image of Vegas.
And
changed
don't
it.
know what
Changed
the image of Vegas is. Like you said, they don't know. I mean, these are. They take front desk people, make them casino. They make them
Right.
presidents of the hotels and stuff. They don't know nothing about a gaming thing. They don't know what gaming has to do with.
That
We're the
personality.
front line. We're
You
the
got to the
money
parking lot, he's still parking his car the wrong way. In
Exactly.
the parking lot, but inside he's the boss.
Yeah, he owns the joint.
We're
I mean,
the
like-
image of what Vegas was and how we still promote that image through our own personas.
Yeah, it was kind of irritating to see where it's leading, you know, and not saying that the people are incompetent that are running it, but they're going in a different direction than I think we would go.
Where you're taking kids out of college and you're putting them in positions to where it's way above our heads, and we're still
stuck
old
in the
school.
s-
We're
yeah.
still knowing what it should be.
And they could be right. I mean, man,
well,
Well,
apparently
knows?
it's working.
It's unique in some aspects, and then but then there's an aspect where that same young kid comes and asks you, so what would you do at this situation?
Exactly.
You know
because
what?
he hasn't experienced it.
Exactly.
You know,
Oh,
he's in
I-
the position, he's got the power to do all that, but he's never truly experienced. So what would you really do?
You know what I get questioned most about when I'm on the game dealing and the people there is, how was Vegas in the day? I guess that they ask me that question 1,000,001 times.
Mm-hmm.
They want to know how it was then, not how it is now. You know, and
How many
I got-
people have been asked,
they're interested in it.
you guys have schools here?
Yeah,
Churches,
I
stuff?
said no. I fly in from LA.
Yeah,
It's a real-
we
it's a real
commute
town.
every day.
Yeah, we're a town.
So
You know,
where
we're
you-
normal people.
What
In
Florida
fact-
hotel do you stay on?
Exactly.
I don't stay in this hotel.
They asked me
Florida,
where I'm
what
from.
Do
Florida
I
you
said,
live here? Yeah.
I told them I was born on a crab table over a bordello. And they'd say, well, who's your mom? I said, pick one. Just pick one.
Just pick one.
They were all called madams.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
That's,
right.
that's about the truth.
And you probably got more sense than half the people in Washington D.C.
Well, it's
Got
just like
street
Paul
sense.
said. You know, him growing up, you know, he didn't have no silver spoon in his mouth. He had to hustle for everything he got, and that's what I think has been lost.
That's right.
These kids don't know how to
No,
how
they
to
don't.
hustle. They just know how to play with that.
That's right.
That
That's right.
Smartphone.
Exactly.
But without that smartphone, they ain't smart no more.
Right.
Danny, I used to work at I worked at Jet Car Wash on Main Street.
Gee.
And
I
was-
remember
that guy
Jet
used to
Car
pay-
Wash.
The guy used to pay me $1 an hour, man. And I was like 14, 15, 16, you know. And I think I better stop right here.
Well, it's like I think every one of us started when we were around 13, 14 years old
Exactly.
doing
We
some
always
kind of
wanted a
job.
buck.
Whether
Yeah.
it took them Coke bottles down to a
Whatever.
stop and go
Yeah.
to change them in for
for
2
money.
or 3
Exactly.
cents.
That's a
It was
hustle.
money.
That's
It was a
right.
hustle.
It's legit. It's honest.
Yes,
Good money.
it was good money because we could buy all the candy and gum we wanted.
Yeah, that's
And
why I
And you
got
know
my
what?
money. Yeah.
I respect someone with a little hustle. I respect a guy that's trying to hustle me a little more than someone that doesn't bother me because the guy's trying to make a living. You know, I mean, I respect that.
And
know?
you see it coming. He's hustling you.
I
He's
know
flat
it.
out hustling
Exactly.
you.
You
Dude, I
know
got
it.
a Rolex watch. Don't you want this, man? Well,
Yeah.
actually, I have a watch. I'm okay. No, man, I got a Rolex watch. Don't you? I'm gonna let you have it real cheap. Okay, but dude,
$20.
I'm wearing a watch right now.
Yeah.
He said,
I don't need one.
damn, dude, don't be
Yeah.
so cheap.
But that's
Yeah.
okay. You know what?
You don't have one like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Paul, when you turned 21, what did you do when you got old enough to maybe like think about going on the strip or getting a job out there? Or?
Okay, so I'm 21. I've already seen Gladys Knight underage at the Flamingo Hotel. in
All
the lounge.
right.
And we walk up to we wait till everybody goes and be seated. And then me and my buddy walk up and we go, party or two. And they go, yeah, right.
Party or
They
two.
let us come in. They sit us in the back. Cocktail waitress brings us our drinks. We pay for it. We tip her. They leave us alone.
All
Now,
right. Yeah.
the uniqueness is, unfortunately, in an odd way, we weren't in the casinos. We weren't in the lounges because we just weren't invited to come out to the strip.
Of course.
So the 2 or 3 brothers and sisters that's there, they're known by somebody that's running the place. So of course they're there and they're sitting up front. We're youngsters and underage. We're sitting in the back. We're having beers and Tom Collins like we know how to drink and stuff.
Right.
You know, we're ordering stuff like we know what we're drinking.
You're
and
acting
stuff.
like you should be
And
there.
they're treating us like adults. And then we leave. So we could always come back because they go, oh, I recognize those guys. Go ahead and let them in. They know
Oh,
we're
yeah.
underage.
Yeah.
But it was a way of saying, you know what, every once in a while, you kind of bend the stick a little bit. let
But
the
you were
guys,
cool
be
about
a part
it. You
about
didn't
it.
get out of
Right.
line. Like
Didn't get
these
drunk.
kids nowadays do.
And you didn't want to draw any attention because you're not even supposed to be there.
That's
So
right.
we're working the different jobs on the strip because now all of us are like, we're buzzed. We got a little clique of guys that we hang out with. We know that in order to entertain the girls, we all got to have jobs.
That's right.
So now we're out on the strip working. So now each one of us is trying to get a better job. So you're in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I'm a busboy. I make more toast than you. And you say, well, but my check's bigger than yours, right? So we still meet up on the weekend. We all got our girls and stuff. So you're working at the front desk. So now you're laughing at us because, you know, you guys are in the kitchen. I'm out front. They're looking at me. I'm making more toast than both of you. So now you, Patton, has got a job like, you throwing paper still? Damn, dude. You still throwing those damn papers? Oh, my route is much bigger now, man. I got like 2 neighborhoods, dude. It take me like 2 hours to do all the papers and stuff. Okay, cool. But we were all uniquely
Still all together.
all working and stuff. We're all thinking about how we want to move forward in life as young guys, you know what I mean? With the limitations that you can only do this in Vegas, you can only do that in Vegas. But there's one of us that's trying to branch out just enough to be seen.
That's true.
Bring the
That's
other
true.
guy along.
Well, it seemed like we always had a natural hustle. It was in us. It was just in us to be. The kids nowadays, I think they, unless they do it in a different way, they seem to lack that.
Yeah, they do.
Always looking for
Well,
that something. Exactly.
I had-
That's it. Motivation. They
There's
have
no motivation.
no foresight to do something unless it's real big. They want to go in as top dog. It's not how
Right
it
now,
works.
and they got to have the best phone.
Exactly.
They got
The
to have
best
this,
car, the best
everything, yeah.
clothes, the best phone.
Well,
I don't need to earn it because
No.
see, I heard those stories you tell. I just give it to me now, and wow, okay.
That's not how it works, really, and that's not really
No,
how
but
life works.
When I was 14, I wanted a Honda motorcycle. And my dad was dealing, made good money, was getting a new car every 2 years, you know. He said, look, you need to know where I came from and how hard it was. My parents, his parents, my grandparents were like La Bamba. They were in the agriculture in the San Joaquin Valley, home of Cesar Chavez, and they used to follow the migration from Selma, Gilroy, Hollister, all those areas where to pick, you know, different things,
Right.
garlic, grapes. So I had to go stay with my aunt for the summer. Got up at 4:30 in the morning to help make breakfast and to make lunch, and we'd go out there by the crack of dawn. Lunch wasn't till noon, and then they didn't quit until it got dark. I was 14, and when I got back to the house, I hit that bed like an old guy that just succumbed to natural causes.
You were glad to be back home, wasn't you?
And now take us to a station break.
You know what,
All
Danny? At least you appreciated what you got, baby.
Oh, I did, big time.
That's right. That
Well-
makes you appreciate now.
We're going to take a quick break right here. You listen to the Vegas Knights Tales
Ah,
right
la, la, la,
here.
la,
Hurry
bamba.
back.
Ah, la, 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 bamba.
483-4444. Call in.
Now let's return to the Vegas Knights.
Hey, welcome back. Listen to the Vegas Knights Tales. We're just sitting there talking about Danny swimming across the river, I believe.
Yeah, well, I was doing the breaststroke before it became popular.
A lot of picking.
I did a lot of picking, and it taught me
picking.
It taught me a valuable lesson. I realized that working hard for a little bit of money, and that's what you had to do to make it. I learned to appreciate it after that. When I came back home and paid for half of my motorcycle, I was proud of that fact that I paid for half of it.
Dan, you know what the first thing I learned in life that I think was one of the smartest?
What's that?
Do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
Or
Except
do
it
unto them.
first.
Do it first. Do it first. But that's why, so after that experience, when I became 15 and a half and got that busboy job and these other guys were being lazy, man, I was thinking
Hustling,
back
that's
how
right.
I was in them fields dirty. I mean, you know,
That's right.
people that go poop and then
Look at
you
how
step
sweet
in
it
it.
is.
Hey,
Yeah.
this was nice. I had a little jacket on. I was working at the dunes. The showgirls were coming in.
Ooh,
Hookers
the
were
dunes.
coming in. Oh, I was going crazy. My tongue would hang out, and the host would say, "Put your tongue back in your mouth."
It's like I said, from Cincinnati to here at 12 was like, when I stepped off that train, it was like another world, man. I was like, yeah, man.
But it was in the middle of summer, wasn't
It was happening.
And
I
it
said,
was
this is
so
it, dude.
hot.
And I was
wasn't it,
only
Jay?
12, and I knew that this was going to be an experience of a lifetime. Because I always had that kind of warped mind. You know that... I mean, just enough for Vegas.
You mean
know
like
what I'm
a 78 record that's going on,
Exactly. It was a
wobbling.
little
It's
warped,
wobbling.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
when the guy goes,
I
dude,
was kind of open to everything and wanted to be. Like my mom said, I want you to stay away from them people. Don't let them get them drugs. I'm thinking to myself, shit, I'm looking for them. I don't get it. Something's not right. I said,
Something's not right.
So, Paul,
kidding
did you hang out at any of those movie theaters anywhere?
Yeah.
Not the 4-star. Not the 4-star. Across from Trader Bill's.
I don't care how old I appear to be. If I wasn't old enough, I couldn't cross those X's at all.
At the Guild. Remember the Guild? They had
Yeah,
all the
Guild
movies
Theater.
at the Guild.
Downtown was a sweet walk to go to the movies. From where I live.
Paul, you ever go to
Easy.
Guild?
They had everything right down there.
They sure did.
They had it
Yeah,
all.
that was a food. Mom used to say, "Don't go down there." And you know when your parents tell you not to
That's
go,
where you gotta
that's
go.
the first place you go, man.
That's where you gotta go.
Huh? I used to want to go. The Guild was the trip. They showed something in there. I don't know.
And they had
what,
the balcony up there,
but
too.
I wanted to see it. Yeah.
I took, and they
You know
used to
who-
stay open till 2, 3 in the morning.
You know who I used to run
Watching
into
a
in there?
movie.
Giorgiano, Nick Giorgiano. Do you remember Nick? He was in the Untouchables.
Yeah,
on TV.
yeah. Used to hang
He
around
played the
Vegas all the
detective,
time.
yeah.
He was always around
Nick
town. He hung
Giorgiano,
out
yeah.
all the time.
Yeah. He was
All
a
the
half-ass
time.
mob guy, sort of.
The El
Half,
Portil.
half.
He was. He was like a...
A wannabe dad, huh?
Well, he was. I mean, he was like the host at the Riv, you know? And he used to always come by my bar, and he'd always check the coin drops, because sometimes the people wouldn't pay any attention. I say, man, it's my gig, you know? This is my bar, them are my 20 stools. I'll see you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, I tell you, they had a lot of entertainers that used to be hosts out
That's
there.
right.
I mean, a ton.
I met Joe Lewis
you're
and
right,
Billy
they did,
Kahn.
too.
Joe
They sure
Lewis
did.
and Billy
Joe Lewis
Kahn.
was one,
And
you're
Billy
right.
Kahn were together. I met them both. And my
Caesars
dad.
took care of him.
Yeah. They were at the Stardust, and Dad says, that's Joe Lewis and Billy Kahn.
Uh,
Billy Kahn's son grew up in our neighborhood, and we didn't even know him. You remember Billy Kahn?
Sure, I do.
The kid?
Johnny Weissmiller was a
Johnny
host at
Weissmiller.
Caesar's Palace,
a rough and
along
tough
with
son.
Joe Lewis. And then, of course, we had a gal named Al Rosen that was a host who used to play for the Cleveland Indians. And I think he won a world championship with them or some team. You know, so we had different guys that would come in, and, you know, they were junket guys. I mean, people wanted to hang out with them because,
Well, what's a junket? Can you
Junkets
explain
were
what
the
a
best.
junket is?
Oh, that was cool.
Why don't someone else answer that? I don't
Well,
want
they
to
used
talk
to
about
fly
junkets.
people in from different cities,
That's right.
known gamblers, and they'd have a chartered plane, and they'd get all these guys together and say, let's go to Vegas, have a weekend. And that was called the junkets. They used to bring them in from the Hacienda. Judy Bailey, who owned the Hacienda, used to fly them in. I think she was the first one that started the junkets out of L.A. and California. She had her own little airport out there. the Hacienda Airport, and she used to fly them right in there.
They'll be like, that's money week when they come to town.
Man, that was it. I mean, they lived. They still
make some
sort.
tokes, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was a
They come
totally
here for
different
one
town.
reason, and that was to gamble.
That
They
was
here
to
for
gamble.
no other reason. They
Well-
come with money and they want to go.
One of the biggest was Big Julie Weintraub.
Big Julie Weintraub.
That used to bring in all the people from back east, New
Yeah,
York,
New York,
the New
Chicago,
Yorkers,
all
Chicago,
over.
all them. Big Julie, and the guy that worked at the Aladdin, friends with Johnny Yak. That was, you know, what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do. I can't say his name. He was the basketball player at one time, believe it or not.
Was he?
Yes.
You know what I'm talking
Ash
about.
Resnick?
Ash Resnick,
Yeah,
yeah.
Ash.
He
He
played
wasn't a
basketball.
basket.
Yes,
Did
he
he?
was.
I
Sure
had
did.
no idea.
You know, I was supposed to go to Haiti and work for him in a joint, and I backed out at the last minute.
Hades or Hades?
Haiti, the island Haiti.
The- Haiti,
They had a
that's
joint
right.
over there, and he asked. They interviewed.
Papa
He
Doc.
was interviewing, and he said, "Do you have a girlfriend or anybody? Are you close to anyone here?" And I'm, "Oh yeah, a couple." He said, "Then you don't want to go."
You didn't go to Haiti?
He said, "You ain't going." And the guy he did send come back nuts. I ain't lying. I think they put the voodoo on him, man. He come back a little squirrely. You know, I seen him. And
Well,
he
you was
like,
already warped.
I
You
was
could've
already
gone
there. It might have
already.
straightened me out.
You might have got some
I might
voodoo.
have taught them a few things, huh?
You might have started sticking pins in them little dolls of
Really?
people that you didn't like.
I
Boom,
already-
boom, boom.
I already do that.
You could give some little doll a scope,
wait.
like a urologist.
I stuck it up my boss's ass, and it didn't seem to matter. And
Yeah, Ash. He bring in
That's
a
a
lot of
shitty
that.
thing to do.
I know.
When the host would,
Gotta be
when
a-
the junkets would come to town, you want to meet the guy who runs the junkets. Because you
right.
become friends with
They
him.
always had juice,
He
didn't
takes
they?
care of you right off the top.
That's
He see you
right.
across the room, come take care of you.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
well, you
right.
could, if you wanted to go back to New York to make friends with him, say, do you have an extra seat going back to New
Yeah.
York?
That's right.
Sure,
Mhm.
I'll put you on
I've seen
there.
that happen too, yeah.
You know.
And the
They take
guys
care
that
of
did
you.
the guys that did bring the junkets were usually big hustlers in the town that they brought the people from. They
Yeah.
were always the in.
Yeah.
It seemed like they were
Somebody's taking
they
care
were
of
in
them.
with somebody. I mean, they were either bookmakers or at the track all the time, or they were around in the circle of the gambling
So-
thing. I mean, that's how it was in Cincinnati Valley.
Think about old Vegas now, Cincinnati and Bohoken, all those towns, New Jersey. Those guys who ended up in town
Steubenville.
running
That's right.
the
This
city. They
town.
were running gaming
That's right.
here. Because they were doing it back there. You
Well, they
know, it
come
was
out of-
illegal, but they were doing it, and they were known for
That's
it.
right.
Bringing right out to Vegas.
Like we
and
were
giving them a
talking about
job.
Mo Dalits. They come out of Cleveland. They're the ones that opened the DI and the Stardust and the Dunes, and they were Vegas. I mean,
Because
people
they were
ask
robbing.
me that question: Is the mob still here? Is the mob still here? Come on, man. You know, what do you think they're going to pack up and leave all this?
Yeah, they created it,
Seriously.
yeah.
Yeah, really.
We're
I
done.
mean, come on. They just decided that's off. Hands
Paul, do
off.
you have any stories of Benny Binion and the horseshoe?
Actually, I got a great story.
Ooh.
My folks are migrating to California. It's the 40s.
Right.
46. My mom and dad are traveling to California by way of train. Train stops in Vegas for a layover. He wants to show my mom what Vegas would look like. They get off the train. They're walking down Fremont Street. He discovers the Horseshoe Hotel, and he knows Benny been talking about coming to Vegas. Bang, he's here. He goes in. He sees Benny. John, what are you doing? He said, we're going to California looking for work. Now, my dad had been running alcohol in Texas.
Wow.
Illegal booze. He's running booze. He sees him. He says, don't go to California. Stay here in Vegas. I'll get you a job. So my dad stays in Vegas. The rest of his family goes on to California. We grew up here.
Wow.
Well, he's good. They
My
were
dad
good.
goes to work for Benny at the
Benny's
Horseshoe.
good people.
Wow.
And he took
People.
care of him.
Benny was a good old man.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't cross him either.
No, that's why I mean he was a good old man. He
What's-
took you for what you really were. You mess with him, you got messed with. If you
Yeah.
didn't,
Well, the
you
guy,
didn't.
the lawyer that was going to pull the lease out from Bunny Binion, when he went to start his car in the parking garage, blew up mysteriously.
Imagine
Funny,
that.
isn't it?
It is. And he was a well-known attorney, and his father-in-law, I think, was Sal Silvani, the gentleman that ran one of the hotels himself, had a hotel owner, but, you know...
That's real
I knew
Vegas.
one guy,
No,
he had-
that was real Vegas.
I knew
Yeah.
one guy had a wife. He didn't like her. Let's take a trip. They go to Death Valley. He come back alone. She's still walking around out there. He just left her there.
Did she get a job at Scotty's Castle?
Scotty
She
can't.
working
No.
there?
I've been there.
Oh, yeah, I have too.
No, she got a job at Furnace Creek.
Furnace Creek. She's got one of the hottest jobs
Yeah,
in town.
that's
You go
hot.
out there, she's still walking around.
That's hot.
Her high heels must have melted.
He says, shit, why a divorce?
What's your first show here in town that you went and saw?
Oh, my very first show, it was Wayne Newton.
Oh, okay.
Wayne Newton at the Fremont Hotel. He was just a
Man.
youngster.
Remember his
He
brother?
sure was.
Remember his brother?
Yeah, Fig.
Yeah. No.
Fig Newton.
Yeah, but it was Fig. But he got figged. I mean, the brother got figged.
Hey, it's an interesting thing about him playing downtown. The banner in which he worked under being under 21 was
Yes.
written by a black guy here in town
Is that
who
right?
wrote the bill to allow youth to perform on stages where casinos are, and it was passed, and Wayne has a ticket to go on stage anywhere
Wow.
in Vegas. Absolutely.
Do you remember that gentleman's name?
Yeah, Kelly Bunch Sr.
Kelly Bunch Sr. I remember the Bunches because we all went to the same church. I used to go to the St. James
Danny
Catholic
used to
Church.
say, man, there's a bunch of them people over there.
There's a bunch.
A bunch of them. Yeah, there it is, too. A bunch
Yeah,
of
but it
them.
wasn't. Hey, it
There's a
wasn't the
bunch.
Brady Bunch. Baby.
No.
It wasn't the Brady Bunch.
Real interesting. Wayne Newton. Wow. Mine was Pizzazz.
Uncle Shane.
Yours was Pizzazz.
Yeah,
I
on the
remember
strip.
Pizzazz.
I remember the Pizzazz.
Went to a Christmas show, and that was the show we get to watch as kids. Wow. Hey, I can see. Wow. Look
know,
at her
man.
dress. Oh, jeez.
Do you remember the show Ippy Tomby at the Thunderbird?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Ippy
yeah.
Tomby.
Tommy Show.
Yeah, man. I never seen
I remember seeing
black
Zig-
women shake it up like that, man. They were to me they were like the black Hawaiian girls. I mean, they were shaking so hard.
That show ran for a long time.
It did. It did. It did. I'd go in there and then I'd go to Joe's Oyster Bar.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it there, man. It was a little something.
The Ippy Tommy was like watching National Geographics on Sundays.
Oh, that's a great. Oh, yeah,
You
baby.
watch it long enough, one of those
Yeah.
puppies is going to jump out of there, you know?
Yeah,
Just
are you gonna
sit there and
see-
be patient, you know?
Or you're going to see John Cameron Swayze stick his head out from the curtain.
We used to like to go to down to Circus when they had when they first opened.
Zambora.
Zambora. Remember Zambora?
Of course,
Zambora.
it was. They had a black gal, and she would turn into a raging, crazy gorilla.
Freaked out, yeah.
And
Oh.
break through that cage and come
Yeah.
out at the audience.
The door opens, everybody's running.
I remember we went to the El Dorado, a bunch of us guys. We go down to El Dorado. Remember the kangaroo, the boxing kangaroo they used to have in there?
I do. I vaguely remember that. I do.
So we tell
do.
Pat Hanley, he tell me, I'll kick that kangaroo's ass, man. I said, all right. So I said, we're all chipping $20. You get in there with that kangaroo. You know, he said, all right. Well, that kangaroo give him an ass whipping that he'll never forget. That kangaroo went back on that tail.
He didn't get a 20 back,
He,
did he?
no, he jumped back on that tail, leaned back on that tail, and come at
Kicked
him
him.
with them hooks.
Yeah.
Man, he roughed him up, man.
He must have
He
been
was so
reincarnated
embarrassed.
Sugar Ray,
He sure
baby.
was,
Sugar
man.
Ray Robinson is who I'm
He
talking
said,
about.
get this kangaroo off of me, man. And the guy says, well, you know, because he tried to nail the kangaroo, and he goes, he's like a counterpuncher.
The kangaroo was a counter puncher. I never knew that.
He
Was
said,
he
if you-
southpaw?
If you're violent, if you're a...
Hey, you remember where the carnival was? Where they used to hold the carnival?
yeah,
This is where Cashman Field is.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's right.
That was the parade.
They
when
They
I
had
was
the
in.
museum and
That was the
everything
thing
right
of
there.
everything.
That was-
Field
yeah.
area was the
Yeah, and they used to
nuts
sell
of the
them
whole
lizards. They said they would change color too. On the way in, they didn't change into anything. It was still green when they had it wearing up here. Then it.
Well,
then it
during
died.
El Dorado, they had all kind of gas. Like if you didn't have Western, they put you in that
Yeah.
kangaroo jail
Jail,
or
that's
whatever
right.
that was.
Kangaroo
it was
court.
like a really took it seriously.
So
It
he
was
got.
fun
So
for us.
the kangaroo though knocked
No,
him
but
on
he
his
knocked.
butt.
Well, he worked him over. You know, they had to pull the.
So he
kangaroo.
ended up down under, huh?
Oh, he was under. That kangaroo whipped his ass, and the
And
guy
after
said
that, they had the wrestling bear.
because he tried to hurt the
The
kangaroo.
wrestling bear. Did you wrestle the bear?
No, I didn't. I didn't mess with anything like that.
Yeah, they had the
No
bear.
bear,
wrestling.
no kangaroo, nobody.
Well, Pat, tell him
Pat.
what it's time for.
Well, it's time for another break here. You're listening to the Vegas Knights Tells right here. Well, hurry back, hurry back.
If you want to know
Call
the name
in.
of that
483.
kangaroo champion, I think Jimmy's got it.
483-4444. Call and ask us. some
Or if
stuff.
you're listening in Spanish, 483-4444. And throw in
Cinco.
a hot tamale with that, would you?
Now, let's return to the Vegas Knights.
Hey, welcome back to the Vegas Knights Tells here. Benny Baccarat, Danny Krebs, Jimmy Baggs, our guest, Paul. Paul, I want to ask you, what's it like now working compared to what it was back then?
We refer to ourselves as the hospitality industry, but we're not as hospitable as we were. Now, in saying that, yeah, we provide all the amenities and accommodations, but we're not as friendly as we used to be. You know, if it's not about the money, we don't talk to you. You're in the way. Next, who's over there? Come on up. Where back then, they wanted the business. Everybody was unique, and everybody was important.
Yeah.
Now we're into classes now. Well, how much are you spending? Where are you going to stay? What hotel? Everything's
What's your
deemed
credit
on,
line?
yeah,
Your
where you
credit
are
line.
when you get here.
Yeah, I still remember we had what we call the power of the pen as a
Mm-hmm.
dealer. Which that meant that if somebody wanted to go to a show or go to a restaurant, we could just tell the floor man and he would send them. That's what they call the power of the pen.
The dealer? Were you a dealer and were able to do that?
Yes,
The pen?
yes.
I know I got the pen of the floor job, and that's strong. When you're a floor job, the pen is strong.
It's
at a
very
floor
strong.
job.
Well,
Yeah.
of course,
Without having to talk to nobody else.
casino
You know what I'm saying?
managers used to be the gods of the property.
Oh, absolutely.
You
Yeah.
know, it's what
Casino
he
manager.
said went down. If it wasn't the GM there, he's the next big guy on the
Well,
property.
like the casino manager was the head of the whole building, not
Yes.
just the casino. He was the head of everything in the. It used to be. I don't know about now.
Right.
And
It's
not only
changed.
that, all the shift bosses
Right.
would take care of everybody's problems.
that shift.
Cooks, chefs,
Exactly.
security,
Yeah.
casino,
Exactly.
whatever. They took care of
Thank
all
you.
of that.
You know what? The casino
They
gets a
don't
bad
now.
rap. We're frontline employees. We get the people right up front. We get the money. We deal with the money. So I think we get a little. I don't know. I guess they rate us enough, but
Well, that you can
know what I mean.
say that because you're out there fighting that battle. That
Yeah.
execs go to their office and
yeah,
avoid.
but we don't know the other parts of the hotel either. We don't know what them guys go through at the front desk or the bellman or the whatever parking.
And they're
guys.
front line
There
as well,
too.
yeah.
Exactly.
They're getting their hat handed to them as well.
Exactly.
Because
So-
now the public is so wise, if you will.
You really.
They're bending the stick just before it
That's
snaps.
right.
Oh, you insulted me. I don't like the way you're looking at me. Oh, I can't believe you talked to me like that.
Well, you know what, Paul? They have on the computer. They have sites that tell you how to get free stuff in Vegas. I lost a job behind something like that. The guy wanted something, and they stood behind him instead of me.
Who will
All the
never
guy
come
wanted
back.
was a
yeah.
free room and a meal. And the guy cost me my job.
And once he leaves, that's it. You'll never see
That's
him
it.
again.
That guy will never come back there.
So we supported the wrong one.
Exactly.
Well, when he said the power of the pen, when I was at Caesar's Palace, if the floor man was real busy, and I'd say, hey, this guy wants to go to the show. What's he in? He's in about 3,000. Okay, what's his name? Get his name. And get his name, get his driver's license and
Yeah.
make him up a little card or something or whatever to put him in the system. But they relied on us. We all relied on each other to keep everything flowing and keep everything moving and keep everybody happy. That was the thing, and we all had the personal touch with the people that would frequent the place, that would come in 2, 3, 4 times a month or even 10 times a month. Hey, Mr. B, you're looking sharp, man. Hey, Danny, I didn't bring the missus, but I brought my secretary, if you know what I mean. Oh, yeah, I understand. That's the one that takes a little dictation. I get you. All right.
And listen,
But
and you treat him just like she was his wife.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
You're not going to drop the ball on this guy in front
Oh,
of her.
no.
at
But
all.
nowadays, if a guy comes up to the game and he wants 3,200 across and he's betting the line, he's betting big, and he goes, "Hey, listen, can you get me a comp in a steakhouse?" Well, instead of saying, "Yes, sir, I'll be glad to," it's you go look at his credit line or something.
Yeah.
Maybe
you
the
do.
guy's betting that kind of money, it's an automatic. That's one thing they've lost in this city.
So
You know what I mean? The guy's
amounts,
betting.
the amounts that you guys just mentioned. Okay, so we're just under $5,000, and in a day, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Today, the guy says, "Well, I spent $5,000 at the
steak?
beach club," and you go, "I'm sorry, no, next."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, or,
to him, that's a lot of bread.
Or
Right.
how much is he in? Well, he just blew 10,000. Well, he didn't play long enough.
Exactly. Now that's crazy. To me, that is nuts. You know what I'm saying?
That's the hospitality thing that we've lost. Because
Exactly.
if you're not at this level, we're not going to really talk to you. So and that guy's thinking he's spending a lot of money. Man, I just spent $3,000. I know you did.
Yeah.
I saw you. You're right.
Paul, I don't care if this guy
So
drags
you guys
himself.
can't. I can't get a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah,
They said,
exactly.
no, I'm sorry,
Thank you.
and I can't help you, dude. I'd give them to you myself. No,
I know it. I had a guy. He was so George that I wanted to buy him the pack of cigarettes. I was a bartender, and they didn't get a guy. I said, "I'll buy you the cigarettes."
So go back to a casino manager as the big cheese. I'm a security officer, and I've seen us drop the ball on this guest checking in. His room's not ready. We just dropped the ball along the way. You go to talk to this guy. What do you want to do for him? Hey, can we send him a basket of fruit? Can we send him a bottle of wine? Yeah, take care of it. Tell him I said it's okay. Bang. You say that now, are you out of your mind? I dare you come over here and ask me that.
you said the main problem that right there. You have to go to somebody else
Right.
to take care of that problem. Even though you've seen it,
Right.
you still have to go to somebody else. And it might take 10, 15 minutes for them to come down to find out what's going on.
Well, that's why I
Then
like
they
it.
got
You've
to
already
weigh it.
lost the guy.
Yeah, then we got to weigh it.
Yeah, the
right?
one job-
So now the guy's pissed off. He's brooding, you know.
Yeah.
I can't believe you guys treat me like this, man.
The one job I had, I was a backup shift boss, and the shift boss was never there, so I ran the shift, and I loved it. You know why I loved it? Because I'm the one. The buck stopped where I was. The lady said, "Let me see the manager." I said, "I am the manager. Let me see your boss. There is no my boss. I am the boss." You know what I mean? Power of the pen, everything. That's beautiful. That's gone.
So
That's gone. You have to be the man to do that. You have to own the place nowadays, I think.
pretty much, yeah.
Everything's
Not
relegated
having to
and
answer to
delegated.
anyone. Not having to answer to anyone.
Well, it all comes down to the pencil pushers.
Yes.
Changing all these
Yeah, the
laws.
bean
for
counters.
everybody,
The bean counters. And that's when they called it when it happened. They called it. When Howard Hughes moved into the top floor of the DI, my father-in-law went, "That's the end of this town. Corporations will take over this town."
Here they come.
And he
they
was
did.
right.
Yeah, it's
And
true.
they did.
They have.
That was in 1988.
Well, right now I'd like to take a little time to thank Paul for
Yeah,
coming
Paul.
on the
Gentlemen,
show
thank
Paul,
you.
today.
I
it was a
appreciate it.
pleasure having
Thank you, Paul.
We've had
having someone
had
that
a
grew
great
up
day.
here.
A lot of laughs today with Jimmy Baggs here, Danny Craps, myself, Benny Baccarat. It's just been it's a lot of fun. Getting in here and reminiscing some old days of Vegas.
And listen, come to Vegas and live the vida loca.
That's right.
And don't hesitate to call in.
Paul, you want to give a quick shout out
Hey,
to
we're
anybody
still-
over there in Texas?
Yeah, you guys, oh, that's right. My buddies are still here. The Hancock family will be leaving today, and they're having a lot of fun here in town. And they come every 2 years anyway. They love Vegas like many people
You
do.
have a good trip home.
Hi, Hancocks.
Absolutely.
Hope you win some money, babies.
There you go.
Come back out and see us, please.
7 crap 11, baby. Hang in there.
Stuff face.
Do